When we're speaking, we're just, the ideas are coming out spontaneously. And what's interesting is when you turn, say if someone was giving a speech and they're talking and they're not doing it from, not reading it. And if you turn that speaking into just word for word, transcribing it, it's almost rather difficult to follow usually. But that's the difference between the way we speak. And when we speak, we somehow can follow that all right. But then when it's turned into something to be read, it's a different category altogether. It's a different mode. And in writing, we have time to digest it, time to process it. So our ideas tend to be more developed, the ideas can progress. But when we're speaking, we're very often, especially if it's spontaneous, the ideas are just coming one after another as they occur to us. And we don't have the chance to sort of go back and see how those ideas relate one to the other and then show that relationship, show that development. Read more. Students don't read enough. If you don't read, you're not exposing yourself to the kind of language that is expected. And to realize that there are differences in terms of like speaking, writing. But there are differences in writing that you'll find depending on if you're in the classroom and you're writing an essay. Different than when you perhaps go out into the workplace and you have expectations for what should be written and how it should be written. Familiarize yourself with the writing through reading, and therefore that practice, that being exposed to it will make a big difference. Practice. In terms of learning how to write, one thing I find that in my own writing, very often I'll be writing something and it'll look like it really makes sense. It just is perfect. But then if I go back to that same text, maybe a few days later, I'll look back at it and I'll think, wow, that doesn't make much sense. We have to go back over our writing and realize that what we just wrote one time, that very often needs to be thought out. It needs to be reread. And one bit of advice is write what you want to, write the essay that you need to. But let it sit for a day or two, and then go back to it and reread it. And I think very often we begin to see that we need to change it. The ideas just don't flow the way we thought they did. So realize that we need to improve. So write drafts. Never think that what you wrote is the final piece. It's never perfect. One of the areas where I found myself having difficulty, especially at the beginning, was I would be reading, and I'd be reading the writings of these great scholars, and I'd read it and I'd think, oh, there's no better way to say it than that. And that's something that I've had to learn over the years to try to develop more, and that is being able to take the ideas that I'm getting and turn it into my own words, make it my own. And that, I think, is what people want to read. They want to read, how did I understand it? How did I respond to it? How did I take those ideas and turn them into my own? I enjoy it. What I enjoy about writing is that when I do feel it has been able to be successful in getting the point across, and someone responds to it, and that response was the response I was hoping for. And that is what, then I feel that it's succeeded. But it's something that continue to work toward trying to achieve.